Just trying one more time to get some more money on my Cleo card.
Yeah.
What's that?
What? Oh, I found it. Regrettably. My reclaim thing. That's you, Jay. Are you on lunch already?
Yeah.
Oh, that's early.
Well, it's just my first spring.
Uh-oh. So it's not your lunch.
Well, lunch.
Oh. Were you just hungry or just... Oh. Anyway, why do you take your lunch so early? Do they just need you to, or?
Just that's sits in a little better.
Anyway, why do you? Alrighty.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. You guys on my stove all day. Love you.
Anyway,
Alright. Love you too. Get it, Miss Poo Poo. You can lay down over there. Sorry. Do that. Where the fuck did I come? Jay, why'd you go over there? Jared, Papa. Good meaty poo poo keys. Yeah. Maybe. Okay. right?
Share it, baby.
It's fine. Mm. Amazing, cutie kitty. Such a cutie, little floofy. She's a floofy little kitty kitty. Alright. And you're just gonna lay down in my lap. You can. Nobody's stopping you. No, thank you.
Hello, everyone. It's Dr. Johnson from Tate's Chat. If you're on the fence this morning, the leading officer on the case, right, of the Utah FBI, right, he was giving the timeline of events. And during that timeline of events, the officer said, this is his words, okay, met with EPUSA representatives. Do you know who they are? Tyler Robinson, president of the Defense. And even if I did, I wouldn't tell you. You guys would just harass that person, and I'm not going to that person. Oh, and I know that person didn't do it. So you do know what's it didn't do it, right? Conspiracy theories or things, right? There's so much evidence out there. Let's So, Tom Robinson in their hearing just wrapped up the week Friday with a short day, a half day, and we now have a pretty solid understanding of what evidence is out there, what the prosecution free, and maybe a little less of understanding what the defense is missing. Certainly, they don't necessarily show all the evidence they have right now, but the evidence that they are showing paints an interesting picture. I'll let you judge for yourself. I'll show you everything that came up since our earlier midweek update. We got photos of the bullets that were recovered with the gun. We got photos of the gun. We got photos of the bullet that was allegedly recovered inside of Charlie's body, although it wasn't natural to the gun. We got a whole bunch of discussion about DNA evidence that is will very easily summarize. A lot of people are sleeping today. And we got finally video testimony of Lance Twiggs talking about how Tyler admitted 20 essentially. And people have mixed feelings. People ask, you can decide for yourself what to think. But ultimately, this is going to be messy. There's a lot going on. There's a million different conversations about different small pieces of evidence. The reasons all of them falling into name calling because obviously, if you're going to be asking questions on the internet about going to get real untouchable narratives, that's a very strange portion that we'll dig into in a minute. And we'll just try to wrap up the whole preliminary hearing a little bit so you understand what was said and what wasn't said. And I've got a tool, a resource that you can use if you want to quickly skim and double check everything directly from the primary source, the hearing itself. So I'll tell you about it. But first, let's just rewind and circle back to the sort of origin of this whole conversation. The ground zero, the base. We were all told that there are just mountains of evidence that it's so obvious that Tyler Robinson did this all on his own that if you saw the evidence, you would have no question. And that is the premise upon which people would say that I'm evil for asking questions. That Candace and Bear are evil for even asking any questions that they are. There's this that just so happens to be carrying all of the Israel First Zio shills that shill for everything that the Trump administration does, including covering up the Epstein files and going to war with Iran, among other things. So it's like this weird overlap where the whole often taken for Zionist mainstream influencer economy is all saying, don't ask any question. If you do, you're an evil person. You're trying to set the Robinson free. You're trying to take the jury to cause a mistrial. And I don't know if they think that strategy is still working. I don't know if they think that we were all born yesterday. We don't know how the internet works. It will answer. And then we'll start with Pasoka. Jack Pasoka, former Navy intelligence, who has made it happen of reposting over and over and over statements like this. Statements that very clearly are presuming guilt before a trial. I don't think I need to remind Jack Pasoka that this is America. And in America, you are innocent until proven guilty. So is operating. That's not how any of the mainstream Dio shows are operating. It's already proven he's guilty 100%, and if you ask any other question, if you say anything else, you're evil. You hate Eric, or you hate the Jews, or whatever. Okay? So this is the kind of slop that people are posting. And they all have flavor and corrupt.
They're holding their own.
Rico, I bet seeing you in action would really inspire household levels. Can you go show them how many black hands you can take down? Sargento said you might be up for it. Won't take long.
Your help, Rico.
Investigated. And this must not lost contact with enemy. Regroup. Must be met with ultimate scrutiny. Not as accusation, but as thorough investigation.
Oye, Rico, any news on that agency distress signal you picked up?
Not yet.
I do have something here. Looking into
which is a completely opposed theology. Openly states that Israel is ethnically cleansing Gaza as it openly makes accusations of genocide against the opposing religious influence that bankrolls his existence. One must factor this in. When donors, funding operatives, and world leaders are in the DMs, one must take that into account. I am not saying Israel killed Charlie. I literally have no idea. I am saying, how on earth can you rule any involvement out, even secondary involvement? You think this is so irrelevant that it doesn't merit investigation? You think screeching conspiracy makes you sound rational or well-intentioned? It doesn't. It makes you sound like a tone-deaf sycophant with no desire for an oppressive thought and sing tyrant.
Hostile contact acknowledged. We're sending a unit now.
Does that
Helicopter inbound. Heading to AO.
mean is they can turn yeah,
Visual on target.
are pop. The man presence are pop. The behavior is
Acknowledged. Target is at large. Reestablish visual.
and that should all be taken into consideration. Again, no planet is having again, I spoke about this topic. I have no kill her. Indeed, I hold no position, but I find the shade
No longer have eyes on the target.
Searching. This and disinformation campaign and movement are the people in the disinformation, assassination, sensitivity, and stopping targets of protection. Is it possible some random transgender creation will not the greatest hit of our lifetimes? Sure. Is it likely, given the circumstances? Not at all. Trust your government and your military. If you want to have a conversation on this topic, maybe sit at the children's table and think,
Command, we have lost visual. Please advise.
likely never know. But some open.
Fire target. Now.
He's not going to fall. Kill him. We're story in life. So, right. You better not make a mistake. Even in full extent of the American
Starting search.
innocent until proven guilty by a trial in court of years. That the perspective of the people out here all
Acknowledged. Maintain pursuit.
you should have your own
Back to your post. Target is gone.
But I just wanted to point that out as we get into this conversation for today about what we know. Because right now, the internet is just a spinning of narratives. And once you see them, it's wild to watch the people. If you aren't watching, it can be very easy to get sucked into a false consensus or to think that you're getting true information that is not actually based on anything real. There's a lot of lies floating around. So we're going to do our best to unpack what actually happened. Share the actual evidence. And so now let's start with the confessions. We got Lynn's Grace's testimony publicly. We got the text messages entered into evidence. We haven't seen the Discord messages yet, which we'll come back to. Let's just remember that the whole idea is that Tyler Robinson's parents turned him, that he confessed to them, that they knew he did it, that they turned him in, that he confessed. He confessed to his Boy Scout leader, buddy got him and helped turn him in. He confessed, he confessed, he confessed. They've said this over and over and over and over. The preliminary hearings done, and we never saw any direct confessions from Tyler Robinson. We never saw testimony from or by his parents to say that he confessed to them. We never saw this cop, Boy Scout troop leader, friend on the stand or any testimony from him.
Well, I
saying that
guess
Tyler
you got my
confessed to the
message.
crime they did. We don't even have video.
It's all clear, Mira.
I'm on my way.
Exactly.
Who's that?
So what do we? Well,
Why are you here, Sheldon? When you went
We-
dark after
it's
Medici, I figured I'd look through some of your old files.
sort of
See where you might end up.
Things got the
Turns
situation
out your
wrong, so
dad
why?
was working with
Why?
Oscar
And
Espinosa
he
back
was the
in the
shooter
day.
and stated that
Something-
he couldn't go to jail and just wanted to end it. That's why he did it. Robinson's like, there's too much evil, and the guy Charlie Kirk spreads too much hate. They talked about Robinson turning himself in and convinced Robinson to speak with a family friend who was a retired deputy sheriff. At Robinson's father's request, the family friend met with Robinson and his parents and convinced Robinson to turn himself in. The family friend spoke to police and reported telling Robinson that it would be best if he brought all the evidence with the sheriff's office to avoid police having to search his parents' home. They would still have to search his residences. The family friend also asked Robinson if he had any clothes that related to what he did. Robinson replied that he had disposed of the clothes of his parents. So that sounds like a confession.
6 months ago, I showed you an unfinished prototype. Today, I get to show you the real thing. This is the main kerosene.
you would expect to get the meat of this now when they're showing the evidence in court. We didn't get any of that. Except for, we'll talk about the text messages they just meant. This is the affidavit of probable cause that was filed at the same time. Where it says, on the evening of September 11th, 2025, a family member of Tyler Robinson's reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident. So that's the language that we have about this confession. Because that's rock solid. If Tyler confessed, just have the person he confessed to make a statement, either on the stand or a written affidavit or a sworn testimony and video. Voila, you have a pretty slam dunk case. We didn't get any of that. None of that came. His parents are on record. Boy Scout troop leaders not on record. We have no record of Tyler confessing, except by the text message chain that was originally published in part in these documents that had the entire internet making memes about how retarded it is to imagine that a 20-something-year-old Gen Z kid would be talking in the Shakespearean Old English language about his vehicle and about how, alas, my love, I shall not see you. And also about how he opens the text message chain by saying, to be honest, I had hoped to keep this secret till I die of old age. I am sorry to involve you. Now, let me text you a complete confession to every single element of the crime, item by item, line by line, in digital text message format, which obviously is a permanent record of my guilt, which just doesn't make sense to anybody. It never squared with anybody with a brain. And there's also Discord confessions that he apparently made to his friends on Discord.
Oye, Rico, supply drop inbound.
In, but right before he went in, then disappeared. There isn't evidence anymore. We haven't seen those evidence. No one's mentioned them. And Coleman brings up a great point. He's been elaborating on over the last couple of weeks about why it might be, about why they might not want to talk about Discord confessions anymore, because they might have been after he was already in police custody. We'll get into that in just a second. First, let's see what Lance Twiggs actually said on the statement. Let's get into the new stuff that actually came the last couple days of the trial. So this is the video that we got. Lance Twiggs, very robotic, giving video testimony. A lot of people are saying it's AI. It's like, I think it's AI, guys. That's like baby. There's nothing to indicate it's AI. He's just very flat. He's very SSRI feeling. He's very frank. But one thing that he's not there is transferring feeling. I mean, you just watch him talk in his deep voice, with a suit, referring to himself as Lance. He's been working construction jobs, it sounds like. That's what he said. So, transferring stuff came from where it's come from. A little weird.
He didn't really, I really still keep up with politics very much. I usually talk about stuff for work, but
He's also working blue-collar electrician jobs, so we got two gay furry people, allegedly, that are both working blue-collar construction style jobs at the time.
well, Charlie Parker, so I'm not sure. I personally have never talked about really specifically.
So if you remember, took out Charlie Kirk because of how Charlie Kirk was trans people. Don't want to get the trans that year. Filed them up to assassinate. Despite the fact he didn't talk to Lance about Charlie Kirk ever at all. He never wrote about how Lance felt about it.
¡Furibundo!
Weird to me. I think that's weird. drives to work and he like has, you know, basic milquetoast, like 20-year-old opinions about it. They never talked about Charlie Kirk, and they never talked about gender and LGBTQ stuff. But they were definitely gay trans lovers or whatever the story is. So yeah, it's just a little weird. It's a little weird. And it's worth noting. Tried to get Lance Twigs on the stand. It was blocked for whatever reason. They're not allowed to have Lance Twigs on the stand testifying anymore. So instead, all we get is a pre-filmed video that answers the questions. He said, in defense, characterized the video. He didn't get to see all of these things. A whole bunch of us in the court didn't see the whole testimony. But the defense characterized it as a video where Lance was just going to be asked questions and sort of nodded along and said yes over and over and over. So it was better than that. I think it's probably because they showed us the sections that were more substantive, but he did answer questions. And when he answered questions and actually spoke, it did not really to the picture we had told him would paint. In the sort of controversial part of this, as he was asked whether he could exploit Tyler Robinson from these photos. And people are getting on takes on both sides, so I'll just let you listen to what he said in his own words. You can judge for yourself. The same screenshots that we all saw on the FBI's website, like that week, the week of the shooting. Kind of weird that they wouldn't go any more on depth, that they wouldn't show up the videos or anything like that. They would just show them this. So the people that think Tyler did are all left. It's part where he basically says, I can't 100% say, but he's on clothing that this person is wearing looks kind of like Tyler, which is exactly what you would want to say when you're IDing a witness. Because obviously anyone can wear some big clothing that looks like Robinson's clothes, but that's the concerning part, is that it feels like maybe there was some body doubles walking around that day. Maybe there was more than one person dressed up to look like Tyler Robinson. That's one of the main concerns. So one side left the first part, and then two pause and some clarification. So somebody said that he was like coached to say more or something. We don't pick up. Well, he sort of says two different policy things, two parts of it. Ultimately, these are extremely fucking grainy images anyways. So take it however you want to take it. The testimony in the segment that lasts like 20-something minutes during the hearing, you can watch the whole thing for yourself. One of the other things that we got for the entirety of Wednesday afternoon was extremely laborious. Everyone fell asleep. It was just this giant struggle session about the DNA evidence, and tried to like take a huge line of questioning that was like they were going to debunk DNA submits in general, which you actually listen to and you did about DNA. It's a lot of people try on today, and a lot of think that, oh my god, DNA is parts. It's like you can let me believe about CSI. Let's just say DNA evidence can be subjective and complicated, and it's not just a clean cut yes or no, which certainly doesn't. It's complicated. Generally speaking, what came out of the overall trial on the DNA evidence is that Tyler Robinson's DNA is all over everything with relatively conclusive certainty, probably, I think. Pretty sure. And his DNA is on all these items like the weapon and the cartridges and the screwdriver and the towel. But then the issue is that Lance Twigs' DNA is also on several of those items, particularly the towel and the screwdriver. I'm not particularly clear. I don't really care to try to pull it apart. You can do this for yourself if you care. But it was said very clearly that Lance Twigs was presented as an elimination sample, as in you should expect to find Lance Twiggs' DNA on these items. So here's his DNA. When you see it, ignore it, so to speak. Like, I'm interpreting that myself a little bit, but he was presented as an elimination sample, basically saying, like, this DNA will be there because he's the roommate. You're looking for Tyler's, which is a little concerning as a supposition, because if you haven't put two and two together here yet, you have text messages between Tyler and Lance that no timestamps within them, that we have no real way to corroborate that they came from Tyler specifically. So we got photos of the phone screen of Lance Twiggs' phone showing the timestamps, or showing the text messages, and they start right here. Sam Parker points out that weird, there's this super bizarre screen damage right over top of where the time should be. So that's a little interesting. But furthermore, we can see right here, Wednesday, 11 o'clock p.m. So it was at 11 o'clock p.m. that the automated text message, that just in case I'm dead text message, gets sent to Lance. Tyler thought, what? Fuck, I tried to delete that. And this is what starts the whole text conversation. And Barrett scrolled through the entire thing and all these phone photos and showed that there's no timestamps in between any of the messages. As in,
Thanks for flying with the Army of Chaos.
Text again. It'll put a new timestamp in, and like, oh, this one was sent to 7 p.m. This one was sent to 8 p.m. That will not appear anywhere in the entire thing. Somewhat implying that it was one continuous conversation with no significant breaks. Also, the fact that the conversation starts at 11 p.m. gets a little problematic. I'm not going to get into the whole fucking timeline. Barrett has broken it down exceptionally well, and usually coaches. That's when they came in.
One less blimp, one less problem.
Let's just remind ourselves, Lance Twiggs is the roommate. Lance Twiggs has access to all the tools that were used, the dremel for it, the bullets, screwdriver, his DNA is all over all of those items. He probably got access to Tyler's rifle and all the rifles. They lived in the same house. They shared the same, like, he can go into his room. It's all there. I think there was a part where we talked about Tyler having a safe, that he never used it, which is pretty typical 20-year-old behavior, honestly. And then the question of, like, can Lance access Tyler's devices? And it's pretty likely that he can. It's pretty fucking likely that he knows Tyler's password to his devices, or that Tyler might leave his computer laying around. Because if you're signed in on one device, you're signed in on all your devices, and any of those devices can send a text message. So it's not to say that we know Tyler didn't send those text messages, it's to say that we don't know that he did, right? And obviously in this hearing, the standard is not beyond reasonable doubt. The standard is just cause for this to go to trial, and obviously it's going to go to trial. But when we're looking forward at the trial, do we actually have evidence of Tyler confessing to this crime? Do we actually have evidence that shows that it was for sure Tyler and not Lance? Because from where I'm sitting, Lance looks extremely suspicious. Lance has all the access to all the items. He looks very similar to Tyler. He can pass in those security photos. Well, I don't think he did. And he's in the perfect position to frame the guy. Honestly, I don't really know what to think of what we've been told about Lance's, like, sexual proclivities, about his, like, tranny stuff, and there's, like, reports of I don't know. Look, now he's not even presenting as trans or anything. But it's the DNA evidence that is kind of mixing match. Definitely indicating Tyler. Some discrepancy about 2 samples or 3 samples. I'm no DNA scientist. DNA evidence is particularly conclusive in any one direction. It's no mystery that Tyler Robinson's rifle has his DNA on it. It's no mystery that a screwdriver from his house has his DNA on it. It's no mystery that a towel from his house has his DNA on it. It also has Lance's DNA on it. So it's like that's not really proving anything about the fact that he took the shot from that location. Especially when you take into consideration all the other things. One of the big things that we learned is we got photos of the home. Photos of all of this. So just quickly, in here, let's just primer.
Just don't see it being plausible. There's no exit mark. It's a straight through the next shot. Just flip it. Say, what's the straight through the neck? It is spine.
why they can't match it to the gun. Let's start at the top here. Photos of the rifle. Different photos, mind you, than we had before. There's a lot of speculation about this rifle being different than this rifle. I think they're the same rifle. I think they're just flipped over. I think that this one is you're seeing one side, and this one is you're seeing the other side flipped over in the box. But you can talk about it online, I'm not sure. It is curious that the official police photos are during the day. Obviously, much later, like into the evening, possibly. Rifle is flipped around, but at the same location and box. And then the photo was taken that was leaked to the press is a little weird. Of the spent cartridge that was still in the rifle and protected. I took good screens while we were with the boys watching. We got images of the back of the cartridges, and we got images of all the other engraved rounds that were, I guess, in the magazine, but not fired. And all the engravings on them. Oh, we also got a photo of the burnt up dead Tyler of the left full lance. And someone burned, not completely. Which, just really quickly, if you were trying to burn the note of your confession to eliminate the evidence, you see a giant piece of it still intact. Do you run a light through in your lighter? The purpose of burning the first of all, we got a photo of the note too that they weren't supposed to release that actually caused a fucking problem in the courtroom. We also photos of Tyler's targets. And listen, I don't want my own rifle. But I know to know that this dude's not really. It's like his best thing right here to the left side. This one's kind of spread out. He's got a couple of rounds fired out here in the outer circle. This one he's got some rounds all over the target. It's not really clear if these are actually bullet holes in the backing that these targets are attached to, but there's all these weird holes in weird places down here that could be bullet holes. He's not an impressive shot. We don't know, like, much about this caliber. We don't know what range. But he's definitely not placing the bullseye on his targets. So there's an interesting thing to include in the exhibits. Here's the photo of the note that was not supposed to be published. And I've noticed that there's a fucking date and time in the metadata at the top of this one, and we'll get into it in a second. And then photos of the jacket of the rifle that it was recovered inside of Charlie. We're not going to get into all the details because they kind of elaborated on this with the ballistic lady for quite some time. But these are evidence of the pieces of the bullet. And they were not able to match this bullet to Tyler's gun. That does not mean that they concluded that it was not fired. It simply means that it was too malleable, that there wasn't enough material, there wasn't enough similarity between the test shots from the rifle and this bullet. So they were not able to conclude yay or nay either way. It could have been fired from any number of like a couple let's say 30 caliber rifles. So let's just remind ourselves of this tweet from Andrew Coleman at September 25 last year. I just want to address some discussion about the lack of evidence in sharp usually are interested in miracle, and I want people to know. So I just spoke with the surgeon who worked on Charlie Johnson, and he said that the bullet absolutely should have gone through, which is very, very normal for a high-powered, high-velocity round. I've seen wounds from this caliber many times, and they always just go through everything. This would have taken a horse or two down, an elk, etc. That is in quotation marks. He is attributing that quotation to the surgeon, which allegedly the surgeon never said. But it didn't go through. Charlie's body stopped it. I mentioned to his doctor that there were tons of staff, students, and special guests standing directly behind Charlie on the other side of the tent, and he replied, it was an absolute miracle that someone else didn't get killed. A miracle. Right, and right. And actually, let me just read you the description straight off the books. I'm not making this stuff, right? So it says right here. So they're designed for deep penetration, controlled expansion up to 2 times the original jacket. Designed for high weight retention and a close like assembly. told video about a great video. Points to all the games online that think Nate doesn't know anything about firearms, that think he's a horrible person, terrible person for even, never expressing his opinions online. Silly Green Beret.
Nothing to report. Resuming regular patrol.
You can
Calling off search for hostiles. Resume regular patrol.
talk about how I'm a gun guy, all you want. It's my understanding that bullets for hunting elk and moose and, big game, deer and such. And a lot of you out there, a lot of the experts on Twitter have hunted big game. They're designed to kill big ass animals. They're designed to go through the chest cavity of a gigantic animal, blast get into the vital organs, and kill it. That's what they're designed to do. They're designed to stop the human neck. At point the actual blood here. We are issued a clip from.
We could have something here.
We're looking at the perspective. Right? Maybe it's maybe it was hand-loaded. Maybe there's all kinds of different types of bullets that it could be that would be so low velocity or would be damaged or something. So that enemy contact. Soft points from Walmart. They're getting to AO. Essentially. They weren't World II era. They weren't hand-loaded, obviously. You guys all knew that. They weren't branchable, right? And it turns out that we actually already have testing of these exact rounds. Chris Martinson and his team already tested these exact rounds amongst the other 50 or 60 tests that he did. He tested a bunch of Remington Warlock 3M6. To be fair, his grade, we don't know the exact wording of the bullets. I don't believe he didn't test every grade weight of these bullets. But he didn't show a bunch of them. They all went through and through. I'll show you what that means. So here's the shot here. It's coming in down the panel. And it was always watching their stuff blowing up the back here. Some of that is normal, some of that's big projectile from the bank. So you can tell some of it probably supplied with and this shot was absolutely straight through. And so it's going straight through fork ropes, bone in. Bone in there.
No species one. Starting search.
Straight through the bone. Which is not a strong but it's long. So, question. The application from all of
Command here. Find that hostile.
Cardio here. He's having a
Back to your posts. Target is gone.
Meeting conditions. Losing his mind. Completely so pissed. One of the more allegations is that if you don't shoot a living human dick, the test is completely invalid, which obviously is retarded talk. Obviously, you can shoot things that will help you understand what the bullet might do when it hits human dick. And here is Chris Martinson explaining that actually pig is a pretty solid analog for human flesh, human tissue.
I want to get these more picnics that would sort of resemble the human neck, right? That's a picnic roots right there. And again, it has this big bone, it has to support. So these are things that are as large or possibly larger than a human neck. So we're trying to recreate as carefully as possible the condition of the human neck to see what happens if we shoot a variety of different 30-06 rounds out in a variety of conditions.
This is called the scientific method. Obviously, you can't shoot living things, so you just have to get the best possible angle. In case, in case it wasn't clear, scientists do this all the time. There's all kinds of testing that scientists do and utilize and applies every day that you can't test on humans correctly. So they use animals like rats, like beagles, unfortunately, or all sorts of other things. Sometimes they just get the testing entirely and say it's safe and effective. Trust the science. Here it goes. Trust the science. Or Ben Shapiro says, get the vaccine, you dose. I mean, some science works in case you weren't clear. You design an experiment, you carefully control variables. You explain all of that. It's very variable that you want to measure and test. It's been an excellent job. And it's worth noting that obviously, in the center of these technical systems, is way stronger than human. Here's all the testing that he did across these various tests. pay me, so you do pay attention when I post it, because I calls to respond. An expert that you posted said a mushrooming tip is designed for deep penetration and it will blow right through everything. I show you at 9mm the same penetration depth through ballistics gel and you go silent. What is that, Ian? No response? Hurt your narrative? I'm not sure what you're getting at here, man. First off, your post isn't like, I'm not sure what post you're referring to. Second off, what? What are you talking about? Oh yeah, this was in response to him like fantasizing about how he's causing my audience to shrink. About how he's like, I'm sure he used to have 1.5 million followers on X. Now he only has 1.4. You're kidding. It's like, no, dude, I've never had 1.5 million followers. That's the number it's been for a long time. And then the ammunition manufacturer that's come back and looked more to argue again about ballistics. And it just seems really scared to film himself shooting anything because we have a whole bunch of footage of people shooting all sorts of 30-06 rounds, including the exact rounds. And it was going through everything. They go through solid steel, they go through pork bone in, they go through cow femurs wrapped in meat, they go through walls, they go through cinder blocks, they go through ballistic dummies. We've seen 30-6s go through just about everything at this point. Yes, Phoenix Ammunition, everybody else is afraid to build themselves doing tests. You can't test it just because it would show obviously that the bullets going through shit way stronger than a human neck. We don't want to show that. It's really inconvenient for you that's trying to argue that this bullet stopped at a human neck. So instead, these guys just bring like singular instances, like okay, go show
tornado.
It's a lot of problems with the MLK investigation. Leads to which the lawsuit that his family won against the FBI years later. But furthermore, the official trajectory of the bullet was like Ian shattered his jaw, out then back into him again. So it actually did exit and then fucked him up some more. He had to shatter his jaw along the way, which is a hell of a lot stronger than a human neck. Insults, distractions. He wants to confront the fact that we have a shitload of footage that I showed some on last video of 30-6 obliterating everyone. And it's just not what we saw happen in Charlie's neck. And all of that, well, most of it, Gary Melton certainly used to talk about how that was really suspicious to him and how that's why he had a hard time believing the mainstream narrative, which actually more
Round hit right there, right at the collar point, and hit the edge of his plate and deflected, ricocheted.
So first, it was Gary was certain that Charlie Kirk was wearing plate armor, and to be fair, we didn't know. His shirt looked super weird. A lot of us were speculating about plate armor.
At that point, Gary admitted he was wrong about the armor. It still didn't make sense of why there would be an exit.
And there's nothing I hate worse than being wrong. But if I am wrong, clean, make sure you guys know, only with 30 hours, right? Even with it being you think, I have a hard time flex up. Weird things definitely do happen. That is, it seems likely to say, especially the neck area. There's not a lot of impacts in spine. It's pretty thin. Like this is like
It is great that Gary
freaking Charlie Kirk. He's a small big, and you know it's probably 10 inches thick meat, and like right holes, great, like easily 8 to 10 inches meat and bone. So I can find it on. We can see next.
He's slot there.
We're under attack, Commander.
You get it, but we see
Helicopter inbound. Heading to AO.
one of our front area shills.
Those fish on the target.
Saying the exact things that we're all thinking. Copy. We have fire target. Now, all the TV would say influencers were 500 report this crazy new story about this video that they all saw at the end
Okay.
EXT files and actually decode them all and pull out leverage so that regular people can investigate.
Acknowledge. Target is approached. We establish
transfers in this ordinary. So you can easily decode what was said, what wasn't said, what wasn't shown for yourself. So you don't have to trust the talking heads that are paid by Team USA or whoever else. When they,
No longer have eyes on the target. Searching.
start a new chapter. It's a good question. So, tell them that I was told their lawyers wanted them to play this video.
That region, you'll find a top secret lab called Zona 3. It's an installation that studies air currents and wind.
Sounds promising. Anything we can use?
My informants tell me there's some device there called the Wind Nest. We might get some good data from the central processor controlling that machine.
So we get to represent
Lost contact with enemy. Regroup.
We played that video, the one we played in court, and the judge ruled.
Hostile in our area of operation.
Found a lab built around some sort of circular device. It's pumping a lot of air.
That must be the Wind Nest. Can you get to its central processor?
Need to shut down that airflow first.
Are there any generators or breakers connected to it?
Your support is en route.
So, here on day one, the prosecution didn't want to play this video montage of the shooting. And it turns out that they had done some zoom-ins and had some circling and sort of like edited a little bit. And the judge kind of said, you can't play that, it's edited, that doesn't fly. You're going to have to go back overnight and take a version that's not edited and have these zooms and stuff. And you can play it tomorrow. The original version was called Exhibit 12.1. The unmarked, zoomed-in version that they made over and then indented part would have been called Exhibit 12.4. Is that all it is? With citation. And so any part of this that you can double check for yourself in this transcript, it is linked as actual video. That part of the transcript. If you look at the MC files, they like the replicable file. You can't trust that you're not even that are very well tuned into the specific research or documents that you want to learn about. You still got to double check yourself. So source they take that's the whole point of what it is to just go ahead and above the answers, but instead to use AI to sort through files, to sort through truth here, get it, and eventually go to the primary source to see it for yourself. In case you had minutes, and their sponsors or shout out to companies we should work with or anything like that. So instead, research for you to do your research. Yeah, get after it. Just for me.
Just flipped a breaker.
Bet there's several more. That Wind Nest must need a lot of power.
Lasso of truth can bring the top in here. Lasso of truth. So that's our gift to you if you're in it. So it turns out just the same video footage that we already got, the same surveillance cameras that we already saw, same resolution, everything. They just used a video editing program to zoom in. So let you make it. What do you think that qualifies for a game that clearly shows the shot? Yeah, it's all. It's fun. Lawyer, Team USA lawyer, to show this video off camera. Lots of people, a whole bunch of Team USA influencers. And all those Team USA influencers could just happen. These ones that you didn't see, but they did trust them. What's crazy? It sure shows what happened. Then the ability show they
No further contact. All units, stay alert.
in fact select green and work to get slots in line. So there's only 14 of them. So it stayed over so they get in. And so immediately called them shit. It's their corporate space. Posted saying, in the courtroom today, there's no high quality zoomed in footage of anyone taking a shot. The video saying this is kind of a jumping off the roof, showed a screenshot.
Acknowledge. Intruder on site. All units engage.
Otherwise, they know the video is going to be released publicly, so they're misrepresenting both information. Sees and started from discredit for Hindi.
It could be anyone. It could literally be anyone. If it's not zoom in well enough to call, you're gonna be able to tell who it is. You can see some of the rock sheet down. You cannot see it with
This thing's starting to piss me off a bit more, but
we do not know. Full update on what roof the bullet was on because we did get testimony directly.
Sounds like it stopped.
Easy standing by to help you with the central processor. Head over there.
Do you remember that testimony?
Take this to hostile in our area of operation.
Bullet without his mouth.
What? Copy on hostile contact. Free to engage.
This is the computer science building, and technically if I circle around
Rico, before you...
east would be
What?
right
right-hand side.
Ay, log it into the transmitter I've marked. Hurry!
His card is
See, on my way.
Left-hand systems often use refrigerated drives. Security measures. If the drive gets too warm, it becomes unusable. Get it into that transmitter, and I can take the data safely.
Command, we have lost visual. Please advise.
Command here. Find that hostile. Hostile hasn't re-engaged. Eyes open for further contact.
He's plugged in, is he?
Ian, I'm working. All teams, unauthorized access at Research Dome transmitter. Stop them at all costs.
Don't let anything happen to that transmitter.
Tell us that he knows who it was. He's not going to tell us who it was. And like that went on his face and sprayed his fucking head.
We have an intruder on site.
Made himself a whole lot. I know what it
Acknowledge.
It's just
Intruder
like,
on site. All units engaged.
this is a mess. This is a huge mess. This was an extremely long process. I think it was an hour or two. And the dust settled off. Right down, right down. All this right down. We're checking out.
Adios.
Leading officer on the case, right? Of the Utah FBI, right? We giving the timeline. Timeline. The officer said, this is his words, okay? The USA and even if I did, you guys should arrest that person.
So, first answer, I don't know what that is. And even if I did,
Picking up a chopper. Keep your eyes open.
you got correct. Then you let some slip. Second part of the answer, so listen carefully. So, you do
Fuck are you shooting from, dude? What was shooting it?
Us. He's helping Baron. He's helping Candace. He's helping people like me that want answers. He's a little loose in the lips. Whoopsie daisies. So I think we're ready to wrap.
He's plugged in, is he?
And talk big picture.
Ian, I'm working.
To get there, we have
All
to
teams, unauthorized access at Research Dome transmitter. Stop them at all costs.
And Shapira's gonna get to
Don't let anything happen to that transmitter.
to the big picture. And to get there, we're gonna follow Shapiro's mess that he started for himself.
Command, we have an intruder on site.
Los Angeles and
Acknowledge. Intruder on site. All units engaged.
the news that Charlie shot in security. So Charlie security is knowing that what's going on. Battle troops back updates on. It's important. Posted out of his own. Say shut it. What he said is that Charlie was leading in the car. They were speeding through the town on the way to the hospital. Within 7 minutes of Charlie being shot, maybe 10 minutes. Charlie Kirk's security team decided rather than ceasefire, bringing their injuries, plan of time to tell them they were going to do a gunshot. Didn't need the accident on scene trauma back. Calling his next of kin, calling his family.
I'm picking up a chopper. Keep your eyes open.
Randomly calling any of those people, any of those things, they decided.
I've got the hostile!
That's super fucking weird, dude. That is super weird. There's no way that on that train that one. They get the spin. It's like, oh, well, sure, on the right pocket for danger. They were in danger.
Oh, what the fuck?
It's shot by.
Who is fucking shooting? Who is shooting rockets? They are coming from the ether, dude. I don't... That's pissing me off. Is there an invisible fucking helicopter? Where the fuck is it?
He's plugged in, is he?
Bien, I'm working. All teams, unauthorized access at Research Dome transmitter. Stop them at all costs. Don't let anything happen to that transmitter. I lost my connection. I almost had it. Clever.
Let me get the fuck out of here.
I'll mark their positions.
Am I not allowed out? That door's closed. Oh my god. What?
Got phone calls while Charlie was bleeding out in the car on the way to the hospital. We all did it. Weird. Right, Tim? You mean the sources that told you that Charlie was stable? Like an hour after he was dead?
Where's the fucking door?
The source who told me this. I want to believe it. Okay. Just right. I remember this time. I remember these tweets. I remember this was extremely fucking shocking.
I remember when ads didn't fucking target specific parts of a video.
Clint Russell pressed him so much on this. While they were transporting him, you're all fake. Statement while he was literally dead. Speeding in the hospital.
Are we doing this?
Alright, Ted, if you want to jump in there, defend that doesn't make any sense. Be our guest, but I will point out. Let's try
Connection's back. Ah, man. Okay, just keep that transmitter going a bit longer.
I just know what I do, you know, about a year ago. Yeah, it's awkward.
Target last known position was on site. Stand by.
So, to what was going to happen to Charlie that day. And that's just a little uncomfortable. Let's just say that a lot of people have theories about Ben's allegiance in this country and his potential involvement. There's folks who actually hate Ben's
Where?
here.
Get that data to Mira. Hopefully we're one step closer to taking down Iapa.
But I think that if you can yourself, don't ask questions. It's fine. You're gonna be fine. Okay. No one's gonna die. More choice words. It's not an issue. It's
One shot, one kill.
It looks like this, which is the history of the SOD, targeted killing programs. It's extremely extensive volume because there's a lot of history of the SOD's targeted killings. Let's just say that you actually learned your history about the world's foremost assassination mission, the country that assassinates more people than all other countries combined. The country that has built its entire military sort of power projection on assassination specifically, built her entire intelligence apparatus on targets specifically. Well, once you
All Black Hand units,
history
stand
about all
by
that,
for more intel.
you actually know where the leadership in Israel came from, the things they've done to gain power, the things that they're willing to do to keep it. It does remind you that this is changed. But the hoax, until Candace published it, I'll remind you, sort of like the dogs not finding it was a hoax until Candace published it. Or that thing, or stuff. Jewish builders planned all the stereotypes. I can't
No further contact. All units, stay alert.
Leave the pro-Israel cause. This was sent to Jewish donors. This was sent to the big dogs. This was not some actual conversation with his friend. This was sent directly to the one people that would be offended by it. This was him playing ball. This is a very real message. He says, we won't cancel Tucker. I'm thinking of inviting Candace. And he's losing millions of dollars over that decision. And he's pissed. But then it makes you think about messages like this. April 3rd, 2020. It's going unnoticed because so much other news is happening. But the war drums are beating again in DC. The warmongers worry this is their last chance to get the white whale they've been chasing for 30 years. An all-out regime change war against Iran. A new Middle East war would be a catastrophic mistake. Our military stockpiles are depleted from 3 years of back in Ukraine. Our effort to reshore manufacturing has only just begun and will take years to bear fruit. War will worsen our already immense deficit and national debt. Iran is larger than Iraq, Syria, and Afghanistan combined. The war would not be easy and could easily become a calamity. Thanks to President Trump's restraint during his first term, America has a golden opportunity to pull away from Middle East quagmires for good. We shouldn't throw that opportunity away so that some DC has-beens can feel tough by sending young Americans to die yet again. Now we're in the middle of dragging into more and more billions and billions and billions of dollars. You can believe the different sides of the coverage you want to believe, but no matter which side you read, it's pretty obvious that the Israeli side is the side that wanted it. The Israeli side is the side that pushed it. The Israeli side is the warmongers that have been trying to chase that white whale for 30 years. That's Benjamin Netanyahu. That's who that is. And this is an existential level decision for Israel. This is their end game. They need to take down Iran, and they need to do it now. And you're telling me that they were just going to let Charlie Kirk say things like this? They were then just going to sit back and watch as Charlie Kirk said things like this? Openly said that October 7th was a false flag. Charlie openly said that he had serious questions about the stand down orders on October 7th. Charlie openly was starting to say things about what was happening in Gaza, about war crimes. And a lot of people will push back and say Charlie was a Zionist through and through. He was never going to turn on Israel. That's a fair take. I think I agree to a certain degree. Isn't that how you would describe Megyn Kelly? For a long time, that's how you would have actually described Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson. But let's look at Megyn Kelly. Remember Megyn Kelly? Just classic, simple, Zionist, basic conservative.
Oh, yeah, whore.
Just mainstream conservative world. Always there with Israel. Always a Zionist. Held on. And did a lot of podcasts with Charlie, loving on Israel, even as the rest of the conservative world was peeling off and talking about Epstein and
peeling off and talking about Gaza and peeling off and doing the research and realizing like what the fuck is going on there? Then Kelly stood strong through it all. And she didn't change her stance. She stayed Zionist. Then the Zionists demanded that she condemn Candace Owens or Tucker Carlson or whoever it was first. And she didn't want to. She didn't want to get in the mud. Because she didn't want to get in the mud, the Zionists started to call her an evil piece of shit. They started to call her an anti-Semite. They started to threaten her. It just started to snowball because that's what happens when you show the slightest bit of hesitancy. When you even begin to imagine not kissing the food, not slurping the slop, not pumping the water. If you even show one baby step backwards, the Israeli lobby, the Zionists, the Jews, all of them, the whole faction descends like vultures and attacks and forces absolute 100% loyalty to us. Now, you got to watch that happen to Megyn Kelly over the last 6-8 months. It was ostensibly, obviously, their friend. You can find all kinds of super evil things posted by all the Zionists. You go back and watch Ben Shapiro try to get her on stage and try to get her to conform to his things and say the words, say you disavow her. That's what Zionists do. And Charlie was starting to feel it too. And he was starting to express his frustration about it. That's what Zionists do when their friends start to ask questions, when their friends start to wonder, why are we fighting these wars? And sure, Charlie might have never heard about Israel. Probably wouldn't have. But do you really feel confident Charlie would have backed the war in Iran, shut up about the F-35s, just gone along with all even as propaganda, even as they tried to merge Israeli militaries and intelligence apparatuses? Personally, do not. Evidence around the complicated timeline of his shifting beliefs and mostly is the Team USA was a fantastic. Team USA is fantastic. It was built by Jewish and Zionist donors, spending tens of millions of dollars on the years of one of the most powerful nations in America.
websites and forums, if they can, kind of show me. So you can shoot shit. That's what they show. And then you give us a game soon. Just stupid kid.
Yeah.
Occasions. Before too long, the killer managed to get her to go to a motel with him. But allegedly, at some point during this motel visit, Miyako said something that changed everything. She told him that her husband was a police officer, a recently released man with a long criminal record, and who had just committed a murder. That detail carried immediate danger. So, instead of dropping her off back home like he usually did, he drove her to an industrial park and, away from witnesses, he strangled her to death. After killing her, he hid her body in an existing construction home at the site. Miyako was soon